The old house creaked and groaned as the wind whistled through the cracks in the walls. The girl, who was named Lily, shivered in her bed. She hated living in this house, but it was all she knew. Her parents had bought it when she was just a baby, and they'd never been able to afford to move. The house was always cold and drafty, and there were strange noises coming from all over the place. Lily had heard footsteps in the attic, and she had seen shadows moving in the hallway. She knew it was just her imagination. She couldn't help but be scared. One night, Lily woke up to the sound of a loud crash. She sat up in bed and listened. She could hear someone moving around downstairs. She was too scared to go and investigate, so she just sat there, her heart pounding in her chest. After a few minutes, the noises stopped. Lily slowly got out of bed and crept downstairs. She peered into the living room, but it was empty. She went into the kitchen, but it was also empty. She was about to go back to bed when she saw something out of the corner of her eye. There, in the hallway, was a figure. It was tall and thin, and it was wearing a long black cloak. Lily's breath caught in her throat. She was too scared to move. The figure slowly turned to look at her. Its eyes were glowing red in the darkness. Lily screamed and ran back to her room. She slammed the door shut and locked it. She huddled in bed, shaking and crying. She didn't know what the figure was, but she knew it was dangerous. She didn't know how she was going to sleep that night, but she knew she had to be brave. The next morning, Lily told her parents what she had seen. They didn't believe her at first, but then they heard the noises too. They called a priest to come and bless the house, but nothing seemed to help. Lily started to have nightmares about the figure. She would wake up in a cold sweat, her heart racing. She was afraid to go to sleep, but she was also afraid to stay awake. One day, Lily decided she had had enough. She was not going to let the figure control her life. She went downstairs and stood in the hallway where she had seen the figure. She took a deep breath and said, "I'm not afraid of you." The figure didn't move. It just stood there staring at her with its glowing red eyes. "I know you're real," Lily said, "and I know you're dangerous, but I'm not going to let you scare me anymore." The figure suddenly disappeared. Lily stood there for a moment, stunned. Then she smiled. She had done it. She had done it, she had stood up to the figure, and it had run away. Lily never saw the figure again. She still had nightmares sometimes. She knew she was no longer afraid. She had faced her fear, and she had won.